Between the years of 2011 to 2015, a lot of the funds got really burnt by trying to hire and build their own alternative data teams. And the reason they got burned is because they vastly underestimated the difficulty with which it takes to develop the processes around these data sets. Alternative Data Group, my company, has spent quite some time consulting for a number of funds and vendors. So about a couple of years ago, Alternative Data Group has decided on focusing specifically on the data prep problem and to help the entire industry deal with these issues and have a company. There really needs to be an entire industry focused on automating and improving the data prep aspects of alternative data. I'm sure there are many people in the room today that can understand the pain of having to build and maintain lists and lists of regular expressions and having them fail and having to rebuild them and on and on and on. The ideal solution for merchant mapping has the following components. One, it doesn't have a static target list of companies that we map to. The target list it needs to grow all the time because every day there's M&A activity, every day there's companies going public, companies getting delisted, and there are close to 6 million private companies in the US. So, if you're trying to cover private companies, that's a Sisyphus-like task. So we need to have a dynamic target list. And we also need to have a mapping system which isn't just following pre-built rules, but is adapting these rules every single day to achieve a certain performance benchmark. If you looked at your credit card statement, what is the merchant that is that second Mino BK? It's, I think, near impossible for a human being to identify. So, and if we did identify, we'd like to extract the company name, aliases of the company. So this is different types of spelling with corp, without corp, Inc., incorporated, etc. What we're able to do is we're able to tap into 11 different sources and have 11 different machine learning systems to try that all compete with each other to try to figure out what is the right kind of match to make. And so these 11 different agents are constantly arguing with each other to try to figure out the correct company. So here I was able to determine that Mino BK was actually Burger King. The only sign that it's Burger King is that BK. Mino is an Air Force base. Now, one of the requirements of the system that I didn't mention that I should is brands. This is a very important thing. So brands are not really legal entities. Brands come and go at the whim of the marketing team at any company. Yet it's the brands that are often expressed in the raw data of the transaction. So we're not aware of any such thing as a brands database, and nor could there be such a thing as a brands database, because they come and go at such a velocity that it would be impossible to keep track of every single brand from every single company. One of the things that we're able to attain is map brands to companies without having to maintain a brands database. It's able to accept different languages, so Chinese or Korean characters mapped to Huawei, that's Russian and it's mapped to Yandex. What you start realizing when you start building such a system is that in the raw data, you can really be expecting any kind of text that relates to the company. So you must be able to map not just official company names or brands, you must be able to map anything that relates to a company to that company, which is what we're able to do. So for example, More Saving, More Doing is mapped to Home Depot, A Diamond is Forever is mapped to De Beers, and $2 Chuck, you guys know $2 Chuck, I'm very familiar with it from the college days, that's $2 Charles Shaw wine. It's a treat.